It will not be for you. It will not be for your validation or for your ego, but it will be to carry out my will. Oh my God, guys. Like, that was... What's up, guys? So this is the first time I've talked to you guys since my bodybuilding competition. If you're on Instagram, you already got the update. But if you're on YouTube, I'm gonna give it to you now. So we got the dub, we got the victory, and there's a lot more than that though that's happened this past week. Quick update, if you haven't watched the video a couple days ago, on the way to my competition, I had one of the closest experiences with God I've had in a while, and like most direct communication. And it stemmed from the fact that I started this about a year ago, this prep, shortly after I turned vegan, and realized that the abomination of the way these animals are treated, and also the fact that you don't need to eat them, right? I was so dumbfounded by both. I went my whole life without knowing that. And I felt such a conviction to do something about it. And I figured the best way I could do something about it is to prove that you don't need to eat them to build muscle, right? And it's obviously true. And a lot of men think that you need it to build muscle. And so committed to that competition. And over these last 9 months, I have slowly but surely forgot that was the reason I started it. And I was driving to the competition, and before this car ride, I had been previously just thinking about how good it would feel for me to win, the validation, what it would do for my brand, how it would make me more money, and very little about the animals. And a very strong wave came over me, and an image popped in my head, and this was not conscious. It felt like it was put in my head, of a factory farmed animal looking me in the eyes, specifically a baby cow, saying with the distinct look in its eyes that, don't forget about us, right? Don't forget about us, Joey. And that was directly from whatever you believe in, God, the source, whether that's in here or out there, direct communication to realign me. And for the rest of that car ride, it was about a 40-minute car ride, I just bawled my eyes out. I bawled, man. Right? I put the footage in the video I made about 3 days ago, before the competition. But after that point, right, I had this strong sense of guidance and alignment. And it was communication, not in the way of verbal. It wasn't like words being said to me, but it was a inner feeling of God guiding me. And what he distinctly communicated to me was that if I give you this win, Joey, right, if you win this bodybuilding competition, it will not be for you. It will not be for your validation or for your ego, but it will be to carry out my will, right? It will be to carry out my will. And from that point, I felt relaxed. I felt relieved, right? There was still a lot of pressure on me, but what I felt in here was that if I win this competition, it will be your will. That's what I felt, right? And I so badly wanted to win. But at the same time, I was just relaxed. Backstage, I was telling myself, if I win, it will be your will. If I win, it will be your will. And it came down to the wire, guys. It came down, the guy who I posed off against, he was pro in another division, IPE pro. He looked insane. And in the tanning, the first tanning before the show tanning, there's 2 layers. We go out the day before. I was standing across from the guy who looked great, who was the previous pro. I was like, dang, this guy looks good. And I was like, oh, I might not win this. And the funny thing is, the show before, I was also across the winner of the last show. And so I was going in on my high horse on my first show about 5 months back, and I see this guy, I'm like, oh, bruh, it's over. And so kind of similar feeling this time, but I was closer to this guy, right? Our physiques were closer, but he looked crazy. We had a great conversation. I mean, the thing about bodybuilding is it's you versus you. You're not really competing against the other person. You're competing against yourself versus martial arts. And we were talking. I said, bro, I bet it's going to be you and me in the pose down in the end, right? Because they split us into taller categories and shorter categories. And he was going to be in the shorter one. I was going to be in the taller one. I just knew that based on our height. And I knew that he would be in the finals. And I said, if I make it to the finals, bro, it'll be you and me. And I shook his hand. I was like, I would love to pose off against you. And so we get to the finals. It's him and me. I had won the novice class win, then I won the novice overall win, then I won the men's open class win for the tall guys, and then the guys from the open class and the short class, or the open tall class and the open short class, go against each other. And it was him and me, and I shook his hand. I'm like, here we go, bro. This is what we were waiting for. And even backstage before then, I was like, it's gonna be you and me, bro. And we walk out there, and I'm tired, man. I was just posing for so long to compete for the other wins. And I get out there, and I'm just thinking, like, man, like, oh, please, God, let me win this. I was flexing, just giving it my all. I was like, please. We did like a minute pose off. And I stood there, waited for them to call out my name. They were like, over the mic, they were like, you're making this tough on us, gentlemen. And they said, and the official winner, right, and new OCB pro, and he waited for like 5 to 10 seconds. And I was just sitting there like, please, God, please. Number 10, Joey Biletich. And I just, oh my God, guys. Like, that feeling right there, just like my entire body went whoosh. And it was emotional. I went right away. I went backstage and I got down on my knees and I just bawled, man. Fuck, bro. I bawled and I thank God. And I immediately I was like, I will do with this what you want me to do, right? I will do this with this what you want me to do. And for the next, since then, well, let me not get ahead of myself, but right after that, I go downstairs, pee in the cup for the second drug test, because they test the winners twice. And I go down there, I shake up with the guy, I pose off. I said, thank you so much. You don't know how much this means to me. And I told him, I was like, I'm plant-based, man. And the purpose I told him the purpose I was going behind this. And he was grateful. He was like, I'm glad you won, man. And he truly meant it. And he was just such a good dude, actually. But the other class goes and the winners get announced. And then the guys come down, etc. And there was a guy who we really thought was going to win the bodybuilding division, the other division. He was huge. He had pro cards in 2 other divisions. And there was other guy who was a lot leaner, just better conditioned. And he came down and he won, the guy who was conditioned, right? And I walked down, I'm like, congrats, bro. The guy who won, I'm like, let me get your Instagram. And so walk over, we're exchanging Instagrams, vibes are good. And he's like, it's Chuck the vegan lifter. And I look at him with an open mouth. My jaw drops to the floor. And he's expecting me to have the same reaction with everyone, which is like, there's no way, how do you build muscle as a vegan like that? Jaw drops. He's like, yeah, can you believe it? I'm like, bro, I'm vegan too. And his jaw dropped. He's like, are you actually serious? And our minds were instantly blown. Guys, the statistical probability of that, right? If you take statistical averages, 1% of men are vegan. The statistical probability of 2 vegans winning is 1 out of 10,000. 1 out of 10,000, right? And at that moment, I was like, wow, that's insane. So I grabbed my camera. I'll play the video here, actually. I grabbed my camera. So this is my boy, Charlie, right? I just won the Classic Pro card, right? Overall for the Classic. He just won the men's bodybuilding pro card.
Yes.
We're exchanging Instagrams, and what do you say to me?
My username is Chuck the Vegan Lifter.
Chuck the Vegan Lifter. And I look at him with an open mouth, like, holy shit. And he's like, yeah, can you believe I'm vegan? And I let him know, I'm vegan too.
I can't fucking believe
Dude, the top 2 bodybuilders in this show, and this is not an easy show either, bro.
No,
the competition was insane.
Stacked.
Both vegans, bro. Insane. What a message to the movement, bro.
100%.
What a message to the movement.
I'm so glad that we talked.
That's insane. Let's get a fucking bicep, right? Let's fucking go. Cheers to that, man.
Yeah.
Wow. And we were just like, dang, dude, we have to link after this, etc. So there's actually a guy here named Ryan who's recording a documentary about plant-based athletes. I would like for you to meet him, right? And so I go outside, I meet this guy, and this guy's super cool, super great energy, in great shape. He interviews us. It was a great interview. And then I talked to Ryan, the guy who's making the documentary, and I'm like, bro, I would love to connect. I would love if, to get for you to interview me or whatever I can do for you. He's like, yeah, I would love to interview you. And I'm like, my brother is also vegan, and he's a mixed martial artist. He's done a lot for the movement before his Instagram got taken. And he's like, that'd be awesome. And so tomorrow, actually, this is Wednesday, he's coming and interviewing us there. So that was absolutely crazy. There has to be divine intervention there. Like, I know there is, but like looking from the outside, guys, how can that not be divine intervention? So anyways, right, we finish up the rest of the day. I go eat my food, relax, right? And from that point on, I have felt so calm, so guided, right? I've talked to my brother a lot about this, but we're just like, instead of planning what we're gonna do, we're just gonna listen in here. If God wants me to make a YouTube video, which I wasn't planning on coming out here and doing this actually, I was just coming out to ground. If God wants me to make a YouTube video and he's telling me to do that, I'm gonna do that, because my internal state right now is clean, guys. As humbly as possible, I have not been lusting, I have not been desiring the flesh, I have not been fantasizing, been extremely disciplined and focused on things outside of myself. And so I'm able to hear very clearly, right? I'm able to hear very clearly. And I know every single step of the way right now, it's just right in front of me. I know what I need to do. Right? I'm so clear. And gosh, guys, the video I posted with me and Chuck, it's at about 200K on Instagram right now. I've gained about 1,500 followers. A couple other my reels are blowing up. And it's not about me, like it's not about like congratulations, oh, I'm getting all these followers. No, right? It's about the fact that I now have more of a platform to spread the message. And immediately, the first message I wanted to convey on that account was that it's not about meat eaters versus vegans. That is not what it's about, right? The vegan culture, there's great parts about it. And of course, at its root, which is reducing unnecessary animal suffering, that is one of the most beautiful movements. But within it, there has kind of created a culture that turns people who are outside of the movement off. There's a lot of look at you versus look at me, right? I'm vegan and you're not, right? That's our identity has nothing to do with it, right? The core root of the movement is about the animals, right? And when we take that away and we make it about us and about our identity is when the arguments come, and not the productive arguments, the insults, right? The separation. That's why so many people dislike vegans. Partly is their own cognitive dissonance, but another part is a lot of vegans do want to feel above others, right? And they try to abuse that. And that will never, ever sway someone towards your thinking. It will only turn them off, right? And that's why the movement is so small, right? It's such a beautiful and logical and great movement for not only the animals, but for our souls, for our minds, and for our lifestyles, right? But it's such a small movement because the way it's presented, right, is so emotional and insulting, right? And if we can flip that narrative and spread the movement based on what it's actually rooted on, which is compassion, right? Self-control, understanding, empathy, and have empathy for those same people, right, who are maybe not all in on the movement, that's where we can really make a change. I've had so many people talk to me and insult me, say awful things to me in the comment section. And instead of saying something back or even ignoring them a lot of times, I'll say, why do you feel that way? Right? And they'll break it down why they feel that way about vegans, right? They'll tell me, I call vegans gay, or I say I hate vegans, or you're retarded. I say that to them because all vegans think they're above other people, right? They'll open up. Okay, do you think it's true? Do you think vegans are above other people? No. Why is that? Well, I don't think they're above other people because all animals die in the process of crop farming. While I do acknowledge there's going to be death in any movement, a lot of those crops go to the animals, and the animals then slaughtered, increasing the animal death and the crop deaths. Oh, I never thought about it like that. Oh, but the Bible says, well, have you looked at Genesis or Isaiah 10:6 or 6:10, excuse me, right? Or 10:6, one or the other, right? Where it says in heaven, the lion will lay with the lamb, and there will be no violence when the world is filled with the knowledge of the Lord. Or the fact that in Eden, we were plant-based. Right? Have you looked at that? Oh, I actually never have looked at that. Oh, since your mind's already open, let me send you Christspiracy, a documentary that shows maybe the teachings that Jesus thought about meat weren't exactly what the mainstream world thinks. Oh wait, you're not as bad as I thought. Usually when I argue with vegans, they just insult me back and close off my minds. Because of that self-control, that person who never got the chance to hear the full argument, right, is now plant-based, or at least thinking about it. Right? We have to have that shift. We have to have that stoic shift in the movement. Right? And if you're vegan, I'm talking to you, right? If you eat meat, brother, I can assure you, right, this movement does great things for you. Does great things for your body and your soul and your connection with God. And it also does great things for the animals. Because I know most of you on here, at least 90% of you, would not be willing and not be capable, because your heart is too good, to do the things that are done to these animals in the factory farms, right? Your hands, your soul, and your body would not allow you to touch an animal that way, right? And I don't think you would, especially for when it's something as trivial as having a steak or having chicken, when we could just eat plants, right? And because a lot of you wouldn't do that yourselves, that means a lot of you deep down, your morals align with a plant-based diet, because paying someone to do it for you and just ignoring the fact that it's actually happening, right? That's not aligned with you, brother. That's not my belief. If you think it's okay to treat the animals that way, that's fine, right? But most of you don't think it's okay, right? And so don't ignore it. And I promise you, a weight will be lifted off your shoulders if you don't. Okay? So yeah, guys, I'm gonna do my absolute best to take my own fleshly, selfish desires out of my actions and out of my content and everything I do. And it's never gonna be perfect. That was Jesus. Jesus was fully selfless, but the rest of us, right, we can't get there. We can get on close to the spectrum. So I'm going to try to listen as much as possible, so I can provide you guys the most gnosis, the most knowledge, the most wisdom, right, directly from the source. And even after my competition, I was tempted to go drink and smoke and party, like very tempted. I was like, oh, it's fine, I just did all this work. And then I just like internally, God was like, but you remember why I did this, right? And I realized that would be such a slap in the face. And even with women I'm talking to right now, not like talking to relationally, just like throughout my day-to-day life, whether that's at work, whether that's online, etc. I feel like if I ever lust on them, lust on their flesh, right, or even imagine saying, hey, let me take things one step further, right? What a slap in the face to what God, the opportunity I've been given, right? What a slap in the face. And so I am going to stay aligned, guys. A huge message on this, the message I want to convey with you guys is that if you can take your desires, right, and look outside of yourself for a little bit, right, just really ask God, what do you want with me? What am I here for? Please give me guidance and I will carry it out, right? If you truly desire that guidance and you truly know that, hey, if you provide me the opportunity, I will work for it, it will be bestowed on you. But it doesn't seem like it always. In the journey, guys, there will be so many ups and downs. And I feel like I have this communication now, but maybe in a week or a month I don't. And this whole past year, I haven't had it as strong, but I kept doing the things because I know the hard work and just focusing on my mission will always pay off. Okay, guys, so I guess that's it. That's my commitment to you, is just to keep going, right? I love you guys. I promise I won't get in over my head, because I do feel super confident and just like, you know, my head, it's hard for my head to not get big right now with all these followers and just people supporting me and this sense of confidence in winning the pro card, and just I'm having success in all areas right now. But God, keep me humble, right? God, keep me grounded. Amen to that, brothers. Love you guys. If you do want a brother, I would love. I've had so many guys this week, guys, come into my program. I've had three, maybe a fourth soon, guys come work with me, and they've all been so aligned with what I'm doing with my coaching. I'm so excited to work with all of them. I've already started with a couple of them, and yeah, if you feel like you align with me, right, and you'd love to really get started on this journey, really tap into the journey, tap into the path that it takes to get to your highest self, go ahead, book a call. Please only book if you're serious about coaching. I would hate for you to book and then get on the call and be like, oh yeah, I was just kind of trying to see what this is about. No, brother, right? Book if you're like, hey, I want to get on this journey. Doesn't mean you have to sign up, but I want my guys to be aligned. Much love. Peace.